obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Wallach. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have the founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Wallach. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. Let's go ahead and open up that waiting room and let people in. Now, this program is a resource to an amazing community. So if somebody shared this program with you, we want to make sure that you get back with them and tell them thank you. Thank you for taking the time and caring enough to share today's program or any of our programs with you. Because we know for a fact that, folks, we are not chemical deficient, we are nutrient deficient. And when you give the body what it was designed to have, the body itself can do some amazing things. Now, this program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor are the products meant to treat, diagnose, or cure any disease. But folks, like I said, when you give the body what it needs, the body itself can do some amazing things. So get back with that person that shared this program with you. And if you have any questions, they are going to be your first point of contact. Now, if you found this program on your own, you have never spoken to anybody about anything mentioned on this program, you are welcome to call our call team, as we do have one standing by at 855-949-3377. My call team is made up of certified holistic health coaches who have been trained in the 4 areas of health, how they're affected by nutritional deficiencies, and the solutions that we have found to be the answer to correcting those nutritional deficiencies. So today we have a guest on with us that we have not had with us, who has been very, very important on the advisory committee of Youngevity, as he is bringing so much knowledge, wisdom, experience to the Youngevity family. Privilege. What happened? There we go. It is with great privilege that we have with us Sanjeev Javia. He is on the athletic advisory board. He has multiple roles here in the Youngevity family, including product development, devising a marketing strategy for the international markets. He has an MBA from Thunderbird School of Global Management and a biopsychology degree from the University of Michigan. He also has 15 years of experience formulating nutritional products and has developed entire lines of supplement products from sports performance to various disease management states. His specialty and research emphasis is on nutrition and exercise interventions in diabetes, obesity, autoimmune diseases, neurological issues, and post-chemotherapy recovery. His client lists include some of the world's top athletes, which I was really he shared a few of them, which is incredible, including Super Bowl MVPs, Stanley Cup champions, World Series Hall of Famers, and Olympic medalists. Sanjeev is the founder and CEO of Javia Wellness Group, and both a board member and partner of various health-related organizations. His focus at Youngevity is to further reinforce the incredible health philosophy of the 90 for life and support the overall mission of solving today's health concerns through high quality supplementation. Now, I believe he is one of many of us that found the significance in Dr. Wallach's research, which we are here to just carry on and make sure that the world hears how important nutrition really is. Now, Sanjeev, I'm just going to have you come to the screen with me. I just want to say thank you so much for joining us here on the Daily with Doc and Becca show. And we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest and newly released product line that is, or a product duo, I should say, that has been brought to the Youngevity family of products, which I'm super excited. But first, do you have anything you want to just open with?
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much for allowing me to be on the show, and welcome everyone. Excited to talk about the Youngevity mission, because this really is what we're talking about. Isn't just about products, it's about the mission. And what you mentioned earlier is that our bodies are not deficient of chemicals. They're not deficient of things that are not innately found in nature. And what's most in nature and the nutritional elements of nature is nutrients, and nutrients that are vitamins, minerals, amino acids, essential fatty acids. These are the things of Dr. Wallach's kind of, 90 essential nutrients, and why we need them so much, because at the very end of the day, when we don't get these nutrients that are innately found in nature, and we are part of nature, we become vulnerable. We become vulnerable to various types of weaknesses, and those weaknesses are, medically termed as illness and disease. But at the very end of the day, they're just weaknesses. And those weaknesses can be strengthened with the supplementation of those nutrients. So it's super exciting to, be on this show and talk about the mission, and then specifically talk about these two amazing products, the duo, as you mentioned, that have been the newest of the products in the Youngevity line.
Yes, absolutely. So a lot of times people think, oh, that's so much to take at one time when they're looking at the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, because it is a powerhouse of nutrients. And I love the fact that the 3.0 breaks it up into AM and PM. And I have with me right now, Rise and Restore. So which one do you want to talk about first, Sanjeev?
Yeah. So let's talk about Rise, and let's, first kind of take a step back a little bit, because many of you may have been familiar with Youngevity. You may have been taking the Youngevity products. And if you have been familiar with Youngevity, then at the very core of the Youngevity products is the Healthy Body Start Pack. And the very core of the Healthy Body Start Pack is as you mentioned, the BTT, right? And there's been an evolution of the BTT for, 25 years. You had the first version of the BTT, which was the liquid version. And it was a liquid vitamin mineral. And that's because obviously the 90 essential nutrients, the vast majority of them are vitamins and minerals. Dr. Wallach wanted to make sure that you were taking those on a consistent basis because it's very difficult to get the levels that you would need from the foods that you could consume. We're not trying to say that these nutrients are better than the ones that are found in food. But what we are saying is that the ones that are very deficient in foods because of the way that we grow, we process, we farm, we preserve, we consume those foods, you need to have insurance policies for all of those times in which you're not getting the best of the best, which is nearly impossible. So the first version was the vitamins and minerals, and it was in a form in which you would be able to passively absorb those nutrients. So there was a specific reason why they weren't in tablets. There were a specific reason why they weren't in capsules or any other form except for the liquid, is so that the body didn't have to exert so much energy to absorb the nutrients. And then secondly, is that when they were absorbed, they were in a form in which they could be taken up through the bloodstream and taken to the rest of the body, because that's essentially what you're trying to do with any type of, ingredient or product, is to increase its bioavailability. And the bioavailability term is used for how available is that nutrient to get into one place, the bloodstream. Because if it doesn't get into the bloodstream, or enough of it get into the bloodstream, then it doesn't get into the tissues and the cells and the organs and all of the other systems that the body has. So that was the first version. The second version then was the BTT powder. Again, it was a liquid, but it was able to actually contain more nutrients because of the fact that it was in a powdered form. And so therefore you didn't have to worry about the stability of certain ingredients because they weren't yet put into this water or aqueous form. Because once you put it into water, you are limited with the types of ingredients that you could use. And then there came an evolution of that BTT in a powder form. And that evolution really was an evolution of design and research and production and manufacturing, because now more ingredients, as the years went by, became more available for us to use. And if you really look at the various levels of BTT, or the versions 1.0, 2.0, 2.5, really what they were is they were starting to include more of the nature elements of these vitamins. So you went from vitamin C to vitamin C plus the natural foods or herbs or extracts that inherently had vitamin C in there. So I always use the example of BTT was vitamin C. And then BTT 2.0, in theory, was the orange juice that had the vitamin C in it. And then now you've gotten to 3.0, which is metaphorically the entire orange. Because at the very end of the day, all of the things that are found in the orange are incredibly beneficial. Now, no question that the vitamin C in that orange, the one that nutrient of the greatest concentration, if you will, in that orange, was driving a lot of the benefit of that orange. But all of those other things, as we call bioactive components of the orange outside of the vitamin C, were still incredibly beneficial and actually help the vitamin C to work even better, hence the word synergistic. When they use the word synergistic in nutritional formulations or in, nutrition, if you will, they're saying that when you combine these particular ingredients with this ingredient, it is so synergistic, meaning that it enhances both of the ingredients, because that's how nature works, is you have this very compounding effect when you put all of the things together in a very kind of deliberate, strategic, meaning synergistic manner. So this is what really the evolution of this formula is. And I think it's important to understand that, because many of you are consuming some of these other versions, which are awesome and great, and you may continue to keep drinking them. You may actually, as I do, use them in combination with the 3.0 because it serves different purposes. And I've even recommended, the other ones before the 3.0, because for that particular person or whatever, it was most beneficial at that time to maybe just get these types of nutrients in this way. So it's just important to kind of understand like where all of this kind of came from and why we even have a 3.0. But the 3.0 now, when we're talking about it, really is there's two concepts to understand with the 3.0. From a formulation standpoint, now what you're doing is you're focusing on a term called time duration nutrition, which is what you were mentioning, Becca, which is saying, whoa, you broke this up into two different times. And the reason why is because there are certain nutrients that can be given at certain times of the day, at certain dosages, to then greatly enhance the next part of the day, which is what you're trying to do. You're trying to take something in, which then will benefit you going forward, right? It doesn't make any sense in taking things that benefit you in the past. That the body doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work like that. You don't do things afterwards. You do things before if you want to optimize. So therefore, time duration nutrition is optimizing your future. And in this realm, it's taking certain nutrients, certain dosages, certain times to optimize going forward. So that's one term to understand with the 3.0. The second term to understand with the 3.0 is that now all of a sudden the ingredients are put into specific benefits. So as opposed to the other formulas, where really the overall benefit was if you take these nutrients and if you take them on a consistent basis, they will fill in the deficiencies of your diet, which then allows you to be nutritionally and nutrient full, which then allows your body to work better. So just everything's going to work better. So that's kind of like, it was like a general thing that the body was just generally going to work better. What 3.0 is saying is we're going to do the same thing as that. So we're still going to give your body the nutrients to fill in the deficiencies so that, one, you can generally work better, but most importantly, you're not left with any vulnerabilities or weaknesses, which will then manifest itself into some sort of issue, health issue. But what we're also going to do is we're going to take certain sets of nutrients and ingredients and directly focus them on certain benefits to enhance certain benefits that we feel that you are desiring for that time of day. So just keep that in mind. time duration nutrition, and then directed nutrients for specific benefits. That is essentially what the concept of 3.0 is. So we've got two formulations. We've got the Rise 3.0 and we've got the Restore 3.0. The Rise 3.0 is a formulation that is directed towards the mind, the body, and the soul. So I kind of like using those terms, okay, right? So we're going to give you all of the nutrients that were critical found in the BTT. So don't worry. You're going to get the vitamin A's and the vitamin C's and the vitamin D's and the vitamin E's and all those sort of things that are incredibly valuable for you and the reasons why you were actually drinking the previous versions. We're always going to give you the signature nutrients of, Dr. Wallach, the plant-derived minerals, the selenium. We've also now added certain ingredients like zinc, as we've realized just how important it's the immune benefits are, that we want to make sure that we are always striving for a very, resilient immune system. So we're going to give you all that. So you're all set there. But then we're going to start to put together certain nature-centric ingredients. And what I mean by that is now you're looking at plant extracts. You're looking at herbs. You're looking at spices. You're looking at selective antioxidants, very unique and purified antioxidants that fall out of the vitamin mineral kind of, classification. And we're going to put it into this concept of mind, body, soul. So when you take a look at the mind, what we're going to do is we're going to promote cognitive performance, clarity, focus, concentration, energy. Because remember what I said is that you are trying to optimize a certain part of the day. So that day we're trying to optimize with Rise is your waking day. Your waking day is a day in which you are doing things. You are creating purpose. You're creating action. You're creating things. You're producing things, whatever they are. And that requires you to have a very functioning and strong and clear mind. You've got to be processing information really well. If you want to produce more, whatever it is, you need to process information better. And you need to process information faster. And you need to be clear and focused and all of those things. So one of the elements of the Rise was to put a set of ingredients in there for that.
Now, not just the set of ingredients for that, because I think the mind, body, and soul starts with looking forward to the day. And not just looking forward to the day, but this tastes amazing.
Yeah.
So it's something I look forward to taking, and it just is a great start to the day, which hence goes along with Rise, right?
Exactly. You want to be able to, listen, everything that Youngevity does, there's two pieces to it. There's one, the formulation, and the other is the experience. The experience relates to the continued desire and fun and excitement to particularly take that product or to use that system. Because if you develop this with all of these amazing nutrients and it has, yeah, all these amazing formulations, but it doesn't taste very good, then you're just not going to want to do it every day. And nutrition is one of those things where you can't, if you want to optimize it, if you want to get the true value out of supplementation specifically, you don't do it every once in a while. If you're going to do it every once in a while, you might as well not even do it because your body needs to have that compounding effect. So you're exactly right, Becca. The point is if we made it great tasting for you, if we made it easy for you to mix, if we made sure that there wasn't any clumping or anything like that, that then you would actually take it. It was even everything from the price to the color to the smell to the mix, all that sort of stuff Youngevity is looking at so that you feel good about doing it every day. And if you feel good about doing it every day, you will, and then you'll really understand the value of the formulation because no one really understands the formulation until you actually take the product. Right?
Right.
So,
Well, even
yeah.
with the previous one, Sanjeev, because I've tried them all. I started out with the concentrate, like you started talking about, the ultimate tangy tangerine. And then whenever the I've learned about, it was already out. I just didn't know about it yet. The 2.0, the original, and then just a few years ago, the 2.5. Trying them, when you take them on a consistent basis and you don't, your body lets you know. It's like, hey, what'd you do? Cut off my life supply? you know, because
Yeah.
that's exactly the way Dr. Wallach and all his research has shown is that we need these. The body functions when it has what it needs.
Yep. Yep.
So I love the different generations of the Youngevity products, and they've kept them because there's certain people that need certain things. And then habit,
Yeah,
because we're all
everyone
habit.
enjoys, what they enjoy. And so who am I to say I don't particularly enjoy, you know, um, you know, pouring out the ultimate beyond tangerine in a cup and then putting in the water and then cleaning out the cup and then putting it back in and having it in the refrigerator like but some people don't care, right? And some people may actually, like I mentioned earlier in the call, is that some people, like my 85-year-old dad, doesn't necessarily need specifically some of these benefits that 3.0 has. He needs to make sure that he's consistently getting all of these nutrients on a daily basis. And so he's going to be better for BTT 2.0 or 2.05 than 3.0. But myself, my sister, like we would be driving for these types of benefits, right? And so the first piece of this was having this, nootropic blend, as we call it. Nootropics are ingredients that have shown in science to help to promote cognitive performance. They help the brain to be more efficient. They allow for quicker action of the brain, thinking of the brain. So you've got a, nootropic blend that focuses on the mind. And then the second piece of it is as well as an energy blend. So you've got a nootropic blend and an energy blend that's going to be focusing on the mind, right? And then you've got this other concept, which is, okay, now we need to feed the body. And when we feed the body, one of the two really powerful things is to immediately, at time of wake up, that you get a lot of hydration in. This is why I love the fact that it's a powder, is that you can put it into water. And hydration is one of the most critical things that you can do right when you wake up, because you've spent, 6, 7, 8 hours dehydrating your body. You haven't consumed any hydration. And so therefore, that's why a lot of people wake up a little bit achy and sore, is because their muscles, their discs in their back, their ligaments, their joints, they haven't had any of that lubrication due to hydration. So it's all kind of, dry and sore, if you will, right? And so here you are, you're going to get an electrolyte blend in the 3.0. And you're not only just getting an electrolyte blend, you're actually getting specific electrolytes like potassium at higher dosages than even sodium, because our bodies are already consuming a lot of sodium. Our food has a lot of sodium, so we need to actually have more of a balance rather than just more sodium. A lot of these electrolyte drinks out there, they're not that great for you. They're not actually very good for you, and they're not even the ones that you would want to consume, because you're not actually doing the activities that would require for you to drink things like Liquid IV and Element and these other, high electrolyte drinks. But with the 3.0 Rise, you're getting the, perfect combination of those electrolytes for somebody who's just on a very, regular kind of day, which 99% of us are, if you will. And then the second element you have is you have an antioxidant mix. So you have a set of nutrients that are, neutralizing stress from the night before, because here you are doing all of this regenerative repair work at nighttime. You're producing a lot of metabolites, or you're producing a lot of free radicals that just come from the mechanisms of production of repair and recovery. So you're now taking in a lot of antioxidants to neutralize those toxins so you can feel fresh and clean, in the morning. And then, so that's what we're going to focus the body on. And then the last piece is the soul, which is what I kind of, note as what you were mentioning earlier, is that, feeling positive, feeling good, feeling purposeful. So, and that is kind of a neuronutrient thing that you can do. You can actually promote a sense of well-being. And so therefore we've got, a set of nutrients that are, our mood wellness blend, okay, right? Is a blend of, adaptogens and other types of nutrients that are going to help to promote that healthy mindset and that positive mindset. So basically what you've got with the 3.0 Rise is you've got all of the critical elements that you need in the morning, from the vitamins and minerals that were, what you were drinking from the BTT. But then now you've directed certain nutrients and certain complexes to give you the, brain processing power that you need, the clarity, focus, and concentration that you need, feeding the body the really major nutrients that will help to kind of, replenish and kind of charge up the body. And then you've got a set of nutrients that are going to help to promote a positive sense of well-being. Those are the benefits we feel that everybody would want the first thing in the morning. And that's why you would be drinking Rise first thing in the morning,
Yeah, I'm a little late on my first thing, but I wanted to have it for the show. So as we're talking about rising, all of those benefits that we want in the morning, which gives us a great boost to our day. Now, the Restore, tell us a little bit about the Restore.
Yeah, so the Restore is now saying, what part of the day is it optimizing? It's optimizing the recovery part of the day. So you've got Rise, that's optimizing the active part of the day. And the Restore is enhancing or optimizing the recovery part of the day. Because if you're going to be active, you have to recover. Right? This is the law. It's a law of physics. It's the law of health. It's the law of physiology. Like, with an action comes a reaction. The reaction for activity is you need recovery so that you can continue to do the activity, right? You just can't keep going on and on and on and on and on and on, right? Or you're just going to completely break down. So therefore, recovery is saying, or restore is saying, okay, well, there is this time during the day in which is the only time that your body truly gets to recover, repair, regenerate, and replenish. Like, I get it, all these people, they'll go and they'll, do these things, which I'm not saying is bad. I'm just saying that, if you think that you're recovering because, if you feel that there's better recovery in red light therapy, in compression boots and cold plunges and saunas and all that sort of stuff. You're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself into thinking that all of these, biohacking tools that have come out is better. I'm not saying they're not good, but there is better than just getting really awesome, deep, healthy sleep. So therefore, we need to prepare for that. So Restore isn't a sleep product. Restore is a preparation for this time of sleep or recovery, because your body needs to prepare for that to truly optimize it. And so the first thing to understand about Restore is to first understand what actually happens during your rise time or your activity time. You may think that what you're doing is you are going out and doing a podcast, or you are answering questions about, Dr. Wallach and the Healthy Body Pack, or that you're taking the kids to school, or you're lifting weights or playing pickleball or doing whatever. This is what you're doing. But what your body is doing while you're doing that is it is breaking down, it is becoming more toxic, and it's becoming more inflamed because you're using it. You're using the muscles, you're using the systems, you're using the nerves, you're using all that. And so with the use of that, there has to be some evidence of that use. And that evidence of that use is inflammation, toxicity, it's breakdown. That is what it's doing in there, right? It doesn't care whether you're running a mile and that's a healthy thing to do. It is. And there's a lot of healthy elements of running that mile, but it's also producing a lot of stress on the system. Right? Like, you can eat a lot of broccoli, which is a really good thing to eat, but that broccoli needs to be broken down. And it just so happens that broccoli is not a very easy thing to break down. So it creates stress on the system. And that stress is going to produce some level of inflammation, of toxicity, of stress, of that. Now, the cool thing about a broccoli is that it has a lot of nutrients that helps to neutralize some of that stress or a lot of that stress. So that's why you get the benefit of it, right? The net effect is probably more benefit than breakdown. But being on a podcast actually has more breakdown than benefit from a body standpoint. So therefore, I've got to deal with all of that. And so that's the directed benefits of what Restore has. So Restore has, just like the Rise, which is mind, body, soul, I say with Restore, it is balancing, cleansing, detoxification, if you will, right? And like immune health, essentially, right? You're getting these are the three things that it's trying to do. Because here you are, so you finish the day. So when you finish the day, you create a lot of chaos in the body, okay? So the first thing you need to do is you need to balance it. You need to rebalance it. You need to bring it back to homeostasis, as they call it. Homeostasis is a physiological term, which is to balance the body. The body loves to be in balance. So therefore, the first thing, or one of the things that it's doing, is it's balancing the body. The second thing that it is doing is it is relaxing the body. So it's calming the body. So it's calming the nervous system. It's calming the inflammatory systems. It's calming the muscles. It's doing all of these things so that it can settle itself. And then the third thing that it's doing is it's doing the detoxification. So when you now have balancing, relaxing, and detoxification, you now have prepared your body perfectly to be in this environment that then allows it to go into deep, healthy sleep, which is where all the real magic happens. And it just so happens that, just like I said earlier with Rise, we already have those awesome nutrients that were in the BTTs, but we've now put all of those awesome nutrients as well in the Restore. So then now when you get into this restorative, event that your body's having, which is sleep, you're also feeding it all of the nutrients that it needs so that it can do all of those repair and recuperative and regenerative processes. Because you got to feed the body, you got to feed the machines that are doing those sort of things. So that's the essence of what Restore is, and that's why we have those specific ingredients that are in Restore that obviously aren't in Rise,
Well, and I love on the container itself of the Restore, it says wind down with restoring nutrition. Help your body to recover in the evening with the 3.0 Restore, a unique blend of nutrients that helps restore your body's need. You can relax, recharge overnight to prepare for whatever tomorrow brings. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why you'll find, the cool thing is if people that are into nutrition, if they're, I would imagine that if someone's listening to this or has a desire to listen to this, that they're taking some form of supplementation. They're taking some form of ingredient, whatever that is. It could be anything from just simple, a multivitamin or vitamin D, all the way to, ashwagandha or, glutathione or reishi mushroom, whatever it is. Okay, right? Well, what you're going to find in the 3.0s, when you really look at, the ingredients, and I know we haven't really dug into the ingredients, but at the very end of the day, I mean, honestly, the ingredients is, in my opinion, of less benefit than conceptually what that product is doing and conceptually how it's working, the philosophies, the mechanism of how it works, and then the benefit and experience that you're going to have. Everybody kind of gets hyped up on ingredients because they're fun to talk about, right? Fun to talk about. They're fun to, say, oh, let me tell you about beet powder and how great beet powder is and how beet powder helps with, as a natural nitrate and produces nitrate. That's wonderful and great. But at the very end of the day, somebody that is taking beet powder, really what they care about is the fact that they're going to get better cardiovascular health. And they're going to get better cardiovascular health because you're going to get, endothelial, healing from taking beet powder, and you want healthy blood vessels. Okay, that's really what you're trying to do, right? And so, but if you do like to dig into ingredients and look at ingredients and take products due to ingredients or whatever, you're going to find that the 3.0 has all of the, latest and greatest and hottest nutrients that people are consuming. So you're getting an all-in-one type of product. You don't have to buy a lot of different things, which I think is not only, great for the wallet, but it's also great for, the compliance, right? Taking a bunch of different things. It works for some people, but it's also becomes an inconvenience for others. And when things become inconvenient, you just don't do it consistently.
That's right. That's right. Well, we have lots of questions coming in. And folks, if you do have questions, you can go ahead and raise your hand or type them into the chat. Even if you're out on the different platforms and there's an ability to write a question or comment, please, one, let us know where you're at so we know that you're there. And two, if you do have questions specific to this, then go ahead and type that in there. And we do have some of our co-host team that are watching those platforms so that we can bring those questions in as well. Now, we've got an amazing group of coaches, certified holistic health coaches, who have had some questions and comments about the 3.0 as well. And one of them is coming in wanting to know, for the restore, how long before bedtime would be recommended?
Great point. I feel like, and I've tried, so I've had Restore like a month before it was released. And timing is always one of those things where you're like, how does it feel? I felt like when I took Restore about 45 minutes, hour before bed, and I took it in less water. So, less than Rise, which is a bit wild. So Rise, I put in 32 ounces of water just because I want to get a lot of hydration in first thing in the morning. But with Restore, I don't want to drink too much water because then that could disturb my sleep. So therefore, I put it in like 5 to 8 ounces of water, right? I felt like that 45-minute time frame worked a lot better for me than so I did either, it was 2 hours before, I did 2 hours, 45 minutes to an hour, and 15 minutes before. I felt for me, the 45 minutes was a great time. It helped me to settle, it helped me to calm down, it helped me to unwind, and then it was perfect before bed. So.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Another one is, does this replace the Healthy Start Pack with the OsteoFX and the Tangy Tangerine?
So it doesn't replace, in my opinion, it doesn't replace the OsteoFX or the EFA, right? Because, really what it is it's another alternative to the BTT. That's how I look at it, right? Because just like the OsteoFX and the EFA, like those are standalones, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great point. You mentioned the EFA, which are essential fatty acids, which are not included in the Tangy Tangerine, the OsteoFX. I mean, these are standalone products that are essential because our body can't make them to being able to obtain or maintain optimal health. So absolutely, folks, you want to make sure that you're taking your essential fatty acids every single day. Now, another question is, would the 3.0 be taken per body weight like the Tangy Tangerine and how Dr. Wallach recommends?
Yeah, so yes, it can be taken like that. I think that I would do more of that with the Restore than I would do the Rise. And the reason why is because the Rise has caffeine in it. So now, of course, it is coming from all natural, healthy sources of caffeine. It's a super cool complex that uses matcha green tea and yerba mate. It's just got this really neat way of adding all of the really cool antioxidants with the caffeine. But it would be one of those ones where if you were like me, like I don't drink any caffeine. on a regular basis, if you will, right? I mean, I drink it, I just don't drink it on a regular basis. So therefore, I would want to be careful with drinking too much of the rise because I'm sensitive to caffeine, right? But the restore I wouldn't worry about, right? I think too, just generally as well, and I also think about this with BTT as well, is that I think that body weight is one of the good indicators of how much that you should take. But I think the other big one that you should really think about is, what is your health issue? I mean, you could be 100 pounds and be really unhealthy and really deficient and have a lot of kind of stuff going on in the body that's causing you to use up a lot of nutrients. I'd have them take more BTT. So to me, weight wasn't one of the primary indicators of how much nutrition that you should take. It was your health status. And it was also your lifestyle too, right? So some people say, should I take super greens, for example, another product that we have, right? I'm like, you eat a lot of vegetables? Yeah, I eat a ton of vegetables. Well, maybe you can take a serving a day. I don't eat any vegetables. I hardly eat them at all, whatever. You might want to take a few of those servings, right?
Thank you so much. And you had mentioned caffeine, which leads into the next question. And that is, what are your suggestions for people who are sensitive to caffeine?
Good point. Good point. So I got two suggestions. I have, if you wanted to take the 3.0, what I would do is I would definitely take it with food because I would want to buffer that caffeine effect, because that's why they don't really, you don't drink, for most people that say, hey, I don't drink caffeine or that I don't take caffeine, is because they don't have an issue with the caffeine. They have issue with the effect of the caffeine. Like, it just stimulates them too much, which is totally cool. So therefore, you could buffer a lot of that stimulation when you consume it with food, right? And then the other one is just, thank goodness for the BTT 2.0 and 2.5 and 1.0, and all, because they don't have it, right? So, yeah, it's kind of like, unfortunately, but fortunately, it has the caffeine. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that totally makes sense to me. And then the next question is, would you take the 3.0 with or without the rebound? And is there anything that would be overlapping that would be too much?
So do you mean mixing both of them?
I don't know that it means mixing, but taking them all in the same day. Let's go with that part.
Oh no, I'm like a huge, like I drink Rebound a couple times a day. My dad, who's 85 years old, was kind of having some issues with just kind of balance. He just felt like, he would, just have some issues. And we think that it's probably due to dehydration, right? And so we were just like, oh yeah, drink Rebound, drink BTT, drink all of these sort of things, because they're really great flavors. So you will enjoy drinking your water, like you had mentioned. And then secondly, it's nutrifying you. And do remember, a lot of the nutrients that are found in all of those products, they're ones that they're really hard to get from your diet. Like you're, I mean, I eat really, really well, and it's very regimented, and it's kind of organized and structured or whatever, but I don't even think I'm eating. I'm getting a lot of nutrients. You know what I mean? From the food. Just, yeah, it's.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why even after you eat, you're still hungry.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, well, I'll take my tangy tangerine, or I'll drink my restored, and then I'm just not hungry for food. And that's has to do with your body getting the nutrition that it needs, is from my understanding.
Yep, exactly. The body is more focused on nutrient levels than it is on caloric levels. And certainly it's not um, really at all long term for food levels, right? So the body doesn't crave, uh, uh, 50 grams of a food. What it craves is the nutrients and from those 50 grams. And so whether you get it from 50 grams of food, or if you get it from 25 grams of food, or whether you gram it from 100 grams of food, right? It just is still trying to extract the nutrients, right? And once you hit the levels, it says, I don't need that you to consume any more food. So you can stop. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah. And now the next question is it safe for pregnant moms or nursing moms?
So I think you always, as we always say, you want to check with your provider. And the reason why I use the word provider rather than your, medical physician or whatever is that, you have to understand that there's some providers who understand nutrition and there's some that don't. So if you're going to be taking products like this, or supplements in general, make sure you have a provider that understands these things, right? Because do remember, if somebody doesn't understand them, they're going to be scared to tell you to take it. And so they're going to tell you not to take it, right? So,
Exactly.
But you always want to kind of ask them because a lot of this stuff that you would be concerned about is more to do with your history of health than your current situation, right? So like people ask me this question like all the time, and I'm like, I just don't have enough time or even maybe knowledge and experience to understand what your history of health is. So therefore, what you want to do is just first ask someone. But what I can tell you is that none of the ingredients in the 3.0 would be adverse to somebody that is in that situation. So individually, none of the nutrients would be that way. I just don't know what the combination is for you. That makes sense.
That's a great answer. Great answer. And now, before we come to the first hand that's up, so I have Olga who lives in the UK, and she's wanting to know, will Rise and Restore be available in the UK? Do you know? Do you know the answer to that?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not. I don't know that. That hasn't come up in any of the discussions that I've been involved with. But do remember, I'm 99% involved in like the formulation and product questions. That would be something you might want to ask, Steve and those guys. I'm not on the business side, if you will. Yeah.
We will definitely be asking that question because I know there's a lot of people that want to know that answer. So let's go to AJ, who has his hand up with a question for you.
Hey, Sanjeev, how are you?
What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Good. I'm going to let Jill ask her own question because she has her hand up. So my question is, it's a two-part question, and I'll give the first part first. If you had to put on a scale of 10, now that we have 3.0, put a scale from 1.0, 2.0, 2.5, and 3.0.
So here's the reason why that's super tough is remember, they all serve different purposes, right? So like for the person like my dad, who is not really needing specifically those benefits that I was mentioning to you about, which is like, everyone can benefit from cognitive performance and all that sort of stuff. But my thing with my dad is because he's 84, he doesn't eat as much as I'd like for him to. It's difficult for him to eat some of the foods that are nutrient dense because as you age, your digestive system just doesn't work as well, if you will, right? I really need for him to get in a lot of the nutrients. Just that's my main focus. So BTT 2.5 is the best thing for him, but someone like my sister who eats really well or eats well or whatever, so she's getting a lot of those nutrients, but she's a dentist and she really needs to be, really focused and and she's really active as well too. So therefore, I like the fact that there is the hydration element and antioxidants and stuff of the Rise formula for her. The 3.0 kind of works best for her, right? And so that's why it's tough. The only thing that I could probably say is, and I'm not even sure if I think they still, well, I know they have the 2.0, they have the 2.5, but then I feel like what they did with the 2.5, they automatically did with the 2.0. So I'm not really because I think the main thing was the whole methylation thing, right? Is that right?
Well, yes, but 2.5 has the beetroot juice. That's the main difference between 2.0 and 2.5.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. They increased the amount of beetroot juice in the 2.5. Yeah. So I guess in that stand, you would say that if I were going to take one between 2.0 or 2.5, I would be silly from a nutritional standpoint to take 2.0 because 2.5 is just a better formulation,
but not
right?
from a flavor standpoint.
Yeah. Great point. And that was the thing, right? Another awesome point you bring up is that for me, flavoring is of less concern when I'm taking these sort of things because I'm just all into the nutrition side of it. You know what I mean? Right? Even if it didn't taste very good, I'd still drink it. You know what I mean? Right? But 99% of the people aren't like that. You know what I mean? Right? And then if it was really bad, I still probably wouldn't be as consistent with it, right? So I think that's how I look at it. It's tough. You really can't put them, unfortunately, on a scale like that because they all serve different purposes. If that makes
No
sense.
worries. On my follow-up, when someone had mentioned the body weight thing, I guess I'm wondering if you kind of agree with this thought. Maybe a solution might be you could do your Rise in the morning. You could do a tangy tangerine a little in the middle of the day and the Restore in the evening to capture the 200-pound aspect needing of a heavier dose that Doc mentioned, or as you said, to address a severe nutritional deficiency or health concern. Is that kind of a
totally? That's a great idea. I mean, basically what you do, yeah, no, that's a great idea. That would allow somebody to, well, I don't know if that would solve the weight thing because that's not really a weight thing. The weight thing is, I mean, really to me, what that solves is the caffeine thing. If somebody said, oh, hey, listen, I'm really sensitive to caffeine, then I would say, well, you could drink, the Rise, and then you could drink, the BTT and not have to worry about the fact that you're going to be taking in more of the caffeine, which well, I see what you're saying. You said somebody is wanting to take more of it, then obviously they could just take the BTT, which then if they were 200 pounds, they would be able to get, all of those nutrients. Yeah, that works great, because you're just trying to get in the nutrition,
Sanjeev, it's excellent to have your intellect and thoughtfulness with us, and I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, buddy, no worries. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to echo that, as we do appreciate you being here. And let's go to Jill with her question. I know we've got just a few more minutes here. Jill, what question do you have for Sanjeevers today?
Hi, Jeevers. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, you bet.
Before I ask my question, though, I'm pretty sure there is a difference between 2.0 and 2.5 with the sweetener. Like when I look at the 2.5, it doesn't look like there's stevia in it. And I do have people ask me, from time to time that they don't like stevia. And there's quite a difference in the taste of those two. And I've looked over and over, and I'm pretty sure there's no stevia in the 2.5. So anyways, I had a customer the other day that she said she has hypothyroidism, and she's a licensed practitioner, and she was concerned about the biotin that's in BTT and in the new Rise and Restore, and it's in Rebound also. And she says that it throws her, and she knows it does other people that have thyroid issues out of balance. Now, I never heard that before. So I was wondering what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah, to be quite honest, I haven't heard of the biotin as being an issue with someone with any type of thyroid condition.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I mean, I hadn't heard it, so.
Yeah, I'd have to kind of look that up if that's the case, just because I'm not saying that it isn't. I'm just saying that I haven't heard of it, and then the other thing is that like the biotin just, it's not like there's a huge amount of it, right? There's not an excessive amount of biotin in those formulations. But yeah, it looks like someone can interfere with thyroid function tests and lead to inaccurate. Oh, so maybe, well, that's different. If it's having an issue with just the results, like AJ was saying, like, okay, I could maybe get that, but there's not like a health issue of taking biotin and if you had a thyroid issue,
That makes sense. That makes
there's
sense.
a lot of nutrients.
That makes sense why they would be why someone would think that from allopathic medicine. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Well, I think there's a lot of nutrients that can throw off tests. So if I was taking a test, I would probably stop taking a lot of things because I don't want anything to throw off the test.
Right. All right. Well, thank you.
Yep.
And thanks, AJ.
All right. Thank you so much, Jill. Great insight there and questions. So, Jeevers, the questions keep coming in. I'm sorry, Coach Jeevers, also known as Sanjeev Javia. The questions keep coming in, and so let's try to squeeze another 2 in if we can. So Keithy wants to know, why is it named 3.0 when it does not replace 2.0, 1.0, or 2.5?
So one of the reasons is the BTT line, the Beyond Tangerine line, conceptually is just kind of, grown from, 1.0 to 2.0. They were singular formulations. They focused on vitamins, minerals, amino acids, obviously probiotics and things like that. They were overall health and wellness formulations. They were kind of like, as I call, souped up multivitamins, right? But with 3.0, it was a break from that. It was a break from saying that we weren't just going to create, a overall health and wellness formulation. We were going to create an overall health and wellness formulation that was also directed towards certain benefits that we felt that you were really trying to focus on at that time of day. And then also, it wasn't that you were going to take all of it at once. We were going to use this concept of time duration nutrition. And so hence it was just, remove the BTT and just focus on, 3.0 just by itself. That's what.
And I think that when we're looking at the 1.0, the 2.0, the 2.5, we think of also the body packs. And I think that's where it doesn't replace the body pack, but it is one of the generations of the tangerine. Am I correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
And
you'd almost if it were me, sometimes, how I would be doing this is that I think that the Rise and Restore are really great products for those that are already familiar with, Youngevity. They might have already taken the BTT, the Healthy Body Start Pack, all that. And so they're like, oh yeah, let's maybe do something different and see how that feels, right? Or somebody who's like, I just want to start small. I just want to start small. And so it's like, hey, great. You know what? We've developed these kind of, two products that are formulations. They are separate. They're by themselves. You don't have to take too much, it doesn't break you too much out of your current lifestyle or whatever. And they can also be cool because they can be used individually as well, too. Like some people may like, hey, I just want to do Rise. And that's great, right? The BTT didn't have a lot of those variations, the abilities, if you will,
Right.
So therefore, it serves a purpose. But then there's a lot of people. Hey, if I met somebody that was not in great health, right, I'd probably start them on a Healthy Body Start Pack, even before
Whether
they're at the store.
2.0, 2.5.
Yeah, you know what I mean, right? I mean, the coolest thing about the Healthy Body Start Pack is that it has a lot, as long as you take it, it has a
Right.
lot of nutrition. And it is flooding your body with a lot of awesome, awesome nutrition. And it's going to solve a lot of issues for people,
That's for sure. Now, the next question is there a future flavor for 3.0 due to it does have the Restore, especially have a very strong beets flavor.
Yeah, I believe they're already working on like different types of flavor profiles to have it with each of them, so.
And do you happen to know, I know you're not part of you're part of the formulation, but not the marketing on this one. Do you know, are they going to offer it separate, like Rise, separate from Restore, or is it always going to be a pack,
Great
combo?
point. I've heard that they are going to grow to that, but I don't know when. But
Okay. And last question. Is the 3.0 easier on the digestive system than the 2.0 or the 2.5 or the 1.0?
I believe that you're going to find that to be the case, because I think that the issue with the other ones, when individuals had sensitive digestive systems, is it was just a lot of nutrition. You know what I mean, right? It was a lot of nutrition, very, not only in number, but in dosage and everything. So I think that's what's really cool about these two too, is that they're going to be a little bit easier, softer on the system, but they're going to still give you a lot of the great benefit. And that's also a really benefit to somebody that's new to nutrition, right? That was one of the ones you always kind of feared when someone was like, oh, I've never taken anything, but I really do want to take something. And I know it's important for me. And so you'd be like, all right, great. Let's get you on the Healthy Body Start Pack or whatever, or even just the BTT. And you're like, oh, dude, well, you might want to just take half a scoop or a scoop, for the first week or so. Yeah. You wouldn't have to do that with this,
Right. Well, thank you so much, folks. Sanjeev, Javia, just an amazing individual with all of his knowledge that he's bringing as a formulator and also a professional in the nutrition realm. We are so excited and thankful to have you, Sanjeev. And if I could have my co-host come up on the screen, because I could not do this without my team. We definitely love Youngevity. We love Dr. Wallach. We love everything that this company has made available. And you're part of that team that has made the formulations available. And we just appreciate you greatly. As we're closing out, folks, again, get back with the person that shared this program with you. They are your first point of contact. They are the person that you want to reach out to and say, hey, I want that 3.0. how do I get it? And they will help you get it. They are going to be your contact for getting the information and the products that you need based on what you're hearing in this program. And again, if you're not working with anybody and you want to be working with somebody, or you want to make sure that you are getting the freshest, genuine, without any type of concern as to ordering it and it not being right, you want to get back or get with somebody that is specifically related to or an independent distributor of the Youngevity family. You can do so by giving our call team a call at 855-949-3377. Again, 855-949-3377. Patty says, Sanjeev, you look great. And we're going to agree and stand on that one with her. So on our team today, we have Ruth Ellen, who is the executive production manager, helping to get everything organized, put into the product that gets streamed out into the whole World Wide Web or internet, electronic, whatever you want to say, areas that allow the platforms to be able to receive the information that we provide on this program. We have Sherry, who's part of our technical team, getting things set up so that it goes out to the different platforms with the information that, folks, you hit that show more or in the comments, you're going to find how you too can get part of this nutrition, this powerhouse. And the information will be right there for you. Thank you, Sherry, for putting that together. We have Albert, who's letting people into the live Zoom, which, folks, if you want to join us live, we're here Monday through Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time. It does not matter if it's daylight savings or just the time zone is always going to be Pacific. Okay. So thank you, Albert, for helping let people in so they can hear the information. Ruth, and also to get here, it's zoom.dailywithdoc.com at that time. Zoom.dailywithdoc.com. We have Marilyn, lovingly known as Fingers, who is putting the dictation into the chat that's only available here in the live Zoom. So thank you so much, Marilyn, for doing that. We have Rod, who is helping to keep an eye on the different platforms and helping to keep also things going smoothly in the Zoom itself. So thank you so much, Rod, for doing that. And we have AJ, who is our director of marketing, digital marketing, or manager of digital marketing, who has been instrumental in creating all these different accounts that allow us to be on so many different platforms and apps. So thank you, AJ, for that. Now, folks, if you want to be part of an amazing team that brings your talents together to help provide a message that can reach people and do more together than what you could do is you're all on your own, make sure that you get back to the person that shared this program with you and say, hey, how can I be part of your team and help spread this message? Again, if there's no one to thank, we still have room at our table in putting this message and getting it out there. You can reach out to us at info@dailywithdoc.com. Again, that's info@dailywithdoc.com, and say, hey, I want to be part of the solution, and just share with us a little bit about yourself and what talents you want to bring to the table to help spread the message. My name is Becca Dukes. As the Director of Student Services for the Institute of Holistic Health, the hostess of this program, and a leader amongst the independent distributors of Youngevity, it is my honor and privilege to bring empowering information to the world. We don't want to keep it to ourselves, and we love to share it, and we invite you to help us share it. If you'd like to get more information about becoming a certified holistic health coach, you can go to coach.dailywithdoc.com coach.dailywithdoc.com, coach.dailywithdoc.com, and I'll take you to a website that gives some more information about our certified holistic health coach program that allows you to learn about the 4 areas of health, how they're affected by nutritional deficiencies, solutions to those deficiencies, and we go more into what Sanjeev was talking about, the mind, body, soul aspect of it as well. So join us tomorrow as we're going to be bringing another amazing guest in helping you find those missing pieces to help make a stronger life journey. Folks, thanks again for investing this amount of time into you, in yourself. Share it with somebody else. Until next time, bye for now. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have the founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best